dedicated to the strongest woman that I will ever know, ever. And I wish she could be here right now. She was born in 1957 on a tiny island of enchantment. The name given to her, Rena Magali Rodriguez. As a child, she was known as an island girl. She dreamed of the world of the arts and dance, wanted to dwell in the reality of her dreams, wanted to be the next Bryn Mawr. The stage was her home, but she had to put those dreams on hold. 1977, and her soul vibes with the rhythm and blues as the deep voice of Barry White makes her at ease. She sports funky, psychedelic afro, tall supermodel legs, 4-inch platforms, and walks with Oye Mamita, Boricua pride. Then she met a boy. They called him El Gato, the cat. Black, silky hair, smooth as a horse's mane, eyes so dark that pierced and penetrated the heart, but manipulative if anything. She didn't know it then, but knowing him would trap her for years to come. 1981, graduates with a BA from the University of Puerto Rico in special education, walked across the stage, pregnant, one hand grabs a degree, the other hand holding a 2-year-old child. 1987, 3 children she nurtures and displays unconditional love. However, she's forced to sell her only possessions in the only place she will ever call her own home, traded for 4 tickets to the US because she's been abused, used, and abandoned by El Gato. Her family disappeared, left to make her own in a foreign land with a foreign face in a foreign language. She quickly learned how to sobrevivir, survive, all while pondering the questions of who, what, where am I? 1995, living in the poorest of conditions, government welfare checks left her in submission, no lights, no electricity, no running water. But she held her head up high as she passes the food stamps towards the store clerk. All that's heard from behind are the loud whispers, criticized. However, Sobrevivir, she survived. Unfortunately, El Gato returned for a few more years of physical, emotional, and mental abuse. One night in particular, as a child hides under her bed, she can hear the screams and the thuds coming from the room next door, and out walks El Gato. She sees the yellow in his eyes, smells the stench of alcohol emanate from his breath. Fist clenched, he looks down at the little girl and says, "Hey, shh, you know I love her." The little girl slowly approached the woman from behind, and there she stood, not kneeling to the ground, but stood tall with bruises on her face as he attempted to leave his territorial mark. The woman looked down at the little girl as tears began to well up in her eyes, and she says, "Niñita, sobrevivir, we will survive." Fortunately, El Gato finally left for good. Got lost as a crack fiend, drug addict, mentally stained and unclean. Slowly, Island Girl continued her hike towards her celestial skies. 2006, diagnosed with lupus. But she still climbs and she still survives. You see, in many places, womanhood is painted images of voluptuous attitudes or hands full of hips or polite table manners, voices that never rise, teacups and pinkies, courtesy bows wearing long ruffled dresses. But Rena Magali Rodriguez, womanhood is dreaming, and in dreaming, living, doing the unthinkable, defying the impossible. This woman balanced school, work, kids, poverty, class discrimination, racial segregation, and refused to be dehumanized by the vile words which came from his lips. So that she survived. With cancer resistant, we often spoke of death. And she says that death is simply the truth of life in Utah. Life is the thoughts we feel, the the desires we hope to obtain, the love we keep. This body is only a physical manifestation which gives form to the living. So even if I pass beneath that, we still survive. Who will reclaim her voice to eulogize? Who will remember her? I. To others, she's just known as just another island girl. But to me, Rena Magali Rodriguez is so much more. She's my mother.